Pat McCormack has just defeated Miguel Parra via stoppage after the 9th round. And yes, some big claims were being made by Sunny Edwards on commentary throughout this fight, saying that he would put his house on Rolly Romero to lose against Pat McCormack. He would be sticking his house on Pat McCormack to get the job done against Rolly Romero. Yeah, look, so Pat McCormack 8-0 now. Great win there over Miguel Parra. Fantastic performance. Didn't put a foot wrong. 30 years old now. 8-0, 6 stoppages. Interesting. I think Pat McCormack is very good. You know, he's better than, you know, the normal prospect. He's not a prospect anymore. He is a top level fighter. He is. But reality is, he's not on that Rolly Romero level just yet. He's not at all. There's still a bit to go. Can he get there? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, he can. He's very, very, very good. Pat McCormack. He's very good. He's entertaining. He's got a lot about him with his whole fight style. He's good to watch. And in that fight there against Miguel Parra, he needed a stoppage, got it, was beating the guy down. Parra was really tough, respect to him. He took some massive shots, and Pat McCormack's timing, his punch selection was very, very, very good throughout the fight. His control of range was very strong. It was very good. But to say, for someone as well, Sunny Edwards, someone like him to say Pat McCormack would beat Rolly Romero and that he doesn't rate Rolly Romero, it's pretty big comments, and it's a pretty big statement. I don't agree with it at all. I mean, look, he's got 2 good standout wins now. Pat McCormack and Robbie Davis Jr. and Miguel Parra. And Parra's no mug. He's no mug, and he proved that in the ring. He has got a decent resume. I mean, you know, we can go through some of the names that he has been in there with. He's been in there with Shakran Giasov, you know, lost that via split decision. Giasov's a good fighter. You know, he is a top-level guy. Flora Marcu, he's been in there with. Romeo Villa, he's been in there with. Again, you know, he's been in there with some solid names overall. Again, as I said, he's no mug, and it is a solid name for McCormack to have on the resume at this point in his career, and I feel like he's been managed well. I feel like it'd be very poor management if he gets stuck in there with Rolly Romero next. And I saw that's also hit the DAZN headlines as well. Pat McCormack versus Rolly Romero next. It can't happen. I don't think he's ready for it next. I mean, look, the guy's 8-0. I get, you know, he's 30 years old. They want to, you know, that's your prime years where you want to put him in for a title shot. You know, he's achieved a lot in the amateurs, Olympic-wise as well, Pat McCormack has. So I do get the big push, but I feel like before you stick him in there with someone like Rolly Romero, it's like 4 fights away. It's like 4 fights away at least. To be completely honest, even then, you know, it's like 4 fights away. 4 fights away at the very minimum, in my opinion. Pat McCormack's good. He just needs more experience and keep on upping his levels before he gets at world level. That's what he needs to do. There's still things for him to do. Just keep on upping those levels and, you know, beat a worthy contender before he gets a title shot against Rolly Romero. You can't just be coming off a win against Miguel Parra. As I said, he's no mug. He's a good fighter. But you can't be beating him and then going into a fight against Rolly Romero. There's zero hype around that. Absolutely zero hype around that for me right now. Do I think Pat McCormack can be world champion one day? Of course he can. Of course he can. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's got the skills for it. He's got the punch selection for it. He's got the timing in his shots for it. Again, his lead hand feints are very good. I feel like, you know, he doesn't really put a foot wrong. He doesn't really put a foot wrong whatsoever, Pat McCormack. And I said, he's got a lot about him, the way he fights. There's a lot about him, to be honest. That he hasn't got loads of flaws. I feel like he does things very well. I don't think there's a certain thing which massively stands out in his game. It's just that he just is able to do everything very well. That's the thing with Pat McCormack. He's a good, well-rounded fighter. That's my point. And that's what you need to be. That's what you need to be to keep on moving. And he's gonna be able to get to that top level. And yeah, possibly, one day he could beat Rolly Romero. But right now, 2025, that doesn't happen. It's wild claims. Sunny Edwards saying that he was put his house on Rolly Romero to lose to Pat McCormack. It's wild claims. It's come out of nowhere, to be honest. These claims that he beat Rolly Romero and Sunny Edwards is so confident on it. I get, he wants to back the British man, of course. But reality is we can't. You can't stick him in there with Rolly Romero. It's way too much of a risk, and you don't want to knock his confidence. He's at an age now where he needs to be managed very smartly. Pat McCormack, he needs to be managed very smartly. 8-0, 6 knockouts, 30 years old. It's going to be interesting to see what comes next for him. It will be, definitely. And I'm looking forward to see what his next steps are. He definitely needs to fight by the end of 2025. Definitely. 3 fights next year, 2026. Then you never know, 2027, that is when something could come about. But, I mean, who do you stick him in there with next? Who do you stick Pat McCormack in there with next? I feel like is a very interesting question. Because I don't know. Again, you need to manage him very smartly, definitely. But it's going to be difficult to do. It's going to be difficult to do. But, Pat McCormack is going to be a difficult guy for a lot of people to beat, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with someone like Yasov next, as we've already mentioned him in the video. I wouldn't mind seeing him in with someone like that next. I wouldn't mind that at all. That could be very interesting, I think. Stanionis, is that a step too far? I mean, if they want to push him onto something, like a world level fight, then, be my guest to go on and try and do something like that. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what they decide to do with him. But, there are a lot of risks. There are a lot of risks. But again, it's all interesting. Anyway, going to wrap this up here. Thank you for watching.